All right, well, welcome back to the most inconsistent jiu-jitsu show in America.
Yes.
It's the no-named
Jiu-Jitsu.
What's the name?
Well, the building or the Profectus
Profectus Wilco.
of Lebanon, Tennessee.
That's the school name.
149A South Maple Street.
Why are you giving people our address, man?
What? Leave that out? We'll put that on the cutting
That's
room
personal
floor.
information. That's
I'm sorry.
private.
Come and see us.
We don't want just anybody walking up in here.
Not anybody, but somebody.
You got to be a special someone.
What about jiu-jitsu by the train tracks?
Jiu-jitsu by the train tracks. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible, and it's a true statement. It's a true statement. The only time you won't see them is on a Sunday.
What if it's the jiu-jitsu train?
Ah, that's nice.
Kind of got the whole...
Yeah. You time it to when the train's coming through, and next thing you know, we'll have to wait, let the train play.
The jiu-jitsu train station.
I told you, it's happening. It's happening. You just got to let it roll. Let it roll. The ideals will flow.
Okay.
Welcome to the Jiu-Jitsu train station. And you can spell train the same way you spell train. It's
Reality is much different without the headphones on. All right, so the Jiu-Jitsu train station, it's a real thing. It's across the street.
Yep.
It's also an audio entertainment medium that we are communicating with you through. So the topic of today's radio web show is why competition matters, but being a competitor does not. And when I originally said this statement, James was shocked and was like, Jeff, whatever do you mean?
Jeff, whatever do you mean? What is that statement? It's a horrible accent.
I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. I guess what I meant by that statement is, competition is important to a jiu-jitsu practice, but being a competitor and competing all the time is not so important, right? That's for specific individuals who actually set those goals, and that's going to be how they build their career. If it's something you really enjoy, I mean, by all means, have fun. But for me, competing should definitely be at least a part of your practice.
Yeah, I think when you define what a competitor is, that makes that statement mean a lot more, but it's still an intriguing statement just because it makes me think, what do you mean? Because when you think competing and competitor, they're synonymous. They're the same thing. But when you divide them to say a competitor is someone who is trying to make a living from this, well, it almost can potentially take the fun out of it, I would say, for some people, because you got to get first place. If you're a competitor, you have to win because that's your shoe into the next competition. That's your shoe into the sponsorships. That's your shoe into whatever comes next.
Well, there's a lot of aspects that come with being a competitor nowadays, especially with Instagram and building your personality and your personal brand. You have to be able to appeal to the masses just like anybody else. And I think like long ago were the days where you had to get first place. I think if you want to, obviously everybody's trying to climb the ladder of their, whatever field of expertise is. And in jiu-jitsu is no different. But it does make it a lot easier nowadays with social media to allow competitors an opportunity to just showcase a performance of one of their matches as opposed to like, hey, I went out there and lost, and that's all that I'll remember or anybody else remembers. Then when, you can record the match and you can execute a move or two, now you have something to look at. You got something to show off to people like, hey, I didn't sit on my ass this weekend. I went out and tried to, go toe-to-toe with somebody in a jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah. The interesting part of it is I remember some of my previous tournaments, there's always that thought in your head that even if I don't win, maybe I can have one really cool moment. And we've seen that even here this season with some of the kids we've had competing. They've had some great single moments. They may not have won the match, but they did something that just really wowed everybody. So you're right. Even if you do go out and lose a tournament or a match, it's not as big of a deal if you've got a really clear set of moments where you executed something that was truly pure, beautiful jiu-jitsu.
I totally agree. And I mean, of course, like competition is supposed to make you better, it's supposed to make you tighter, it's supposed to help you with goal setting. So like just that in general, and your goals can be like all over the place. You could have a goal just to go out and do one tournament this year and just do your best in that tournament. That's great, just to go out there and shake it up. But maybe you have a goal to get gold and in the pans one year, which is something that I would like to do. So I'm like, okay. And I think this becomes easier to recognize the older you get when you're like, okay, I just have to keep doing it. Like every year, keep doing it. And one of two things is going to happen. Like I'm either going to not get it and I'm going to keep going, or I'm going to get it and I may keep going even then, you know, once you hit those goals. So, competition and training for something like that can become a healthy addiction. Yeah,
and trying to find that comfort in it. You never can be truly comfortable in something that I think you only do once a year, but trying to find at least a pace. Like my most recent match I had, I felt like I was rushing myself. And after I looked at the match later, it's like you didn't have to rush that moment. You could have took your time, tried to calm your nerves and work through what you planned, but in such a rush to try to make things happen, you end up losing those opportunities that lead to what you really want to happen.
If you're joining jiu-jitsu to like chill and relax, like I know like we're pretty laid back. That's kind of the vibe, we're hanging out on the floor all the time, like
it's called the gentle art.
It's called the gentle art. But it does require a level of hard work, but there's a mental component as well that is just as important, right? If you're not training your mind for this sport, you could end up frustrated.
Yeah, or just disappointing yourself. Yeah. Just because you're so focused on, like, it should come naturally, it should come easy. Well, you got to think you are in a fight with your entire body against someone else's will to win in their entire body. My first time doing jiu-jitsu, I thought it was strange. I had worked out plenty of times before, busted my butt for hours at a time, and in the very first roll, I was gassed. I had no understanding of why I was so tired, as hard as I had worked prior to, thinking, what's the difference? And the only thing I could figure is I'm using every single muscle that I have in a match of pushing and pulling against someone else who's doing the same thing. So at 5 minutes, probably really 3 minutes in, I wanted to tap.
Like when you work out on your own, you've got what? It's just you versus you, so you can kind of like tame the intensity of how something is going. But as soon as you put another human being involved, right, even if it's a person who's also doing like the same bench press you are, you're going to start to push a little harder, right? Yeah. You're going to start to act a little bit more
intense.
Yeah.
Aggressive,
intense, maybe the word. By the way, I'm going to randomly blank out in the middle of, speaking about anything just because.
No, I mean, I get it. I've come accustomed to filling in the blanks for Jeff. That's what we're all here for.
And that's why he's here, okay? Because, we want to bring you guys some quality content. And I'm definitely a shameless individual. I could really care less about what most people think about me. But I also don't want to ruffle any feathers,
Rough feathers.
Do you like ruffles?
Of course. I'm a fat boy.
Well, you're a fat boy.
I love me some ruffles.
Do you prefer like ruffled potato chips or like regular?
I prefer the ridges.
You do like the ridges?
I like the ridges.
Okay, we can't use any of this.
We can, just not that part.
No, we can't use any of this.
Not that?
No, I'm deleting this. This is a bad idea.
Don't do that.
I'm not.
This is a lot of hard work at this point.
No, I can't. I'm a failure. This cable's on the table.
I thought it was for something.
Doesn't do anything.
You know what? It makes it look like there's a lot going on.
You know, you're very aware of your surroundings, James.
I try to be, Jeff.
Like, very aware. Are you did you want to be a detective at some point?
I think I did.
Like subconsciously?
I think so.
You're watching like, you know, what the it was called, like Blue Bloods or some TBS.
What? Oh, you mean like CSI type shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't enjoy watching those shows, but I am watching Dexter, and it's making me feel like there may be a part of me that's a serial killer.
Oh, nice.
Actually, I wanted to be an astronaut, and then I said, you know what, detective wouldn't be that bad. But then someone told me it's hard for you to get to that point. You got to do a lot of beat work first.
You mean as a serial killer or as
what? No, I mean like a actual detective.
Like you got to start off with some squirrels and then
maybe
graduate
being a serial killer.
you know,
you probably have to start off with cats. For some reason, cats are where people go first.
I'm not a cat person.
I'm not either.
Nah, we just lost followers. God.
You just shut the whole recording down.
Oh,
That's
no.
it. No, I'm joking. I don't know.
All right. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, James, I think now is a good time to go ahead and switch over to our review of this crazy fight from the movie Choke. It's a free movie that you can watch. It's a documentary, actually, about Rickson Gracie. You can find it on YouTube. It's free. It's called Choke. In this match, we see Yuri Nakai versus Gerard Gordo.
I think they said Yuki was like 135 and
So, yeah,
Gerard is 240.
Yuki's going for a leg lock right now. He tried to spin right into it. Yuki is a shorter man with red pants, and
Gerard.
Gordo, or Gerard. It's funny. James keeps calling him his first name. I keep calling him by their last name.
Yes.
So you guys probably think there's 4 people in this fight.
Probably is. I think he went for an Imanari role off the bat. If you haven't seen this documentary, by the way, I highly recommend it. It's really good for any jiu-jitsu person. This is what, 4 full-out brawls in one night. Like, this is a pretty intense event.
Ooh, on the feet, Nakai goes for a double leg and pushes him against the corner. Gerard is
doing a good job holding onto the rope so he keeps his balance.
It's a pretty big size difference.
Yeah.
Nakai's head comes up right to the chin.
Taking a lot of power out of those punches by staying close.
He's holding the
opening
ropes.
Up to that,
he's cheating.
That guillotine.
Oh, so he's trying to grab his neck, but he's also doing it through the rope. So he's got his arm over the rope, and the ref is not doing anything to stop it.
That's legal.
That's totally not. So he's squeezing the head.
It's legal, right?
He's trying to get the choke. Nakai falls to his back, reaps the leg. He's looking again for the leg lock. Puts him down.
This is about to happen.
He gets it. He gets
There
the
he
tap.
is.
Wow. See, people think leg locks are something that happened recently.
No, this has been happening for years and years.
Look how stoked he is.
And he's not even a jiu-jitsu practitioner.
He's like,
Oh, God. Hard left.
Was that not the face he just did, though? Like, I'll show you.
You gonna show the face?
Yeah, I'm going to show it again. Look at him.
He's saying words clearly, Jeff.
He's just doing
So he's doing that because his eyes
He's
are swole.
obviously
He can't see.
inspired by Bruce Lee.
He got hit in the face several times.
That guy's not happy.
No, he's not happy at all.
Well, that's, you
Because he had 100+ pound weight difference on this guy. He probably thought that was a surefire win.
All right. Well, if you would like to see more content like this and you enjoy listening to James and I discuss things of various topics, including jiu-jitsu from time to time, go ahead and hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe.
Click the bell.
Give us a reason to keep doing this every week, and we will continue to do it for you, because that is why we're here. And to you. His words, not mine.
Ooh.
This has been another episode of the Jiu-Jitsu Train Podcast. Checking out. Signing off.
Unbuckling.